What's up, guys? It's Oidh here, and today I'm not even doing a live commentary. I'm just sort of sitting here and just wanted to, throw some thoughts out there. So, today I want to talk about Nintendo since I recorded that Minecraft Adventures episode a few I want to say a few days ago. I don't know. I think it was probably less than a week ago. Yeah, and oh my god, it was so good. I just sat there and I talked about, all of my thoughts on how, how Nintendo is kind of not doing that well right now, with a Wii U and how the 3DS stacks up to the Vita and everything. And none of it got recorded, and it was just so annoying. So yeah, today we're going to talk about Nintendo. So my main, the thing is, I don't think people seem to realize, how much straight up trouble the Wii U is in. I think it was something like it sold 160,000 units, and that is just nothing. I mean, you can compare that to I think I heard it was the Sega CD back in like the 90s that sold 20,000, and then all of these rubbishy add-on things that they did. No, it was something Sega that sold 20,000, and then along with the Nintendo 64 CD thing, which sold nothing either. So 160,000. I mean, a ton of games are just not gonna be ported over to the Wii U because it's just not gonna be worth it if you don't have enough Wii U's out there. It's just, and that's why Bethesda has pretty much said, oh, we're not supporting the Wii U anymore. It's in massive trouble, even though it is a pretty good console slipped up there. It's kind of it's really complicated as well because the Wii U is technically a really good console, but I don't think people tend to realize that. People think, oh, it's just like a Wii, an attachment for the Wii. But the Wii U has so much more potential than any of the current gen consoles, but it's priced up too high, and it's just going to compete with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox 720. No, Xbox One 720. What was this, like 2 years ago? I can't believe anyone thought it was going to be called the 720. I mean, like, I don't know. I think that was just that was just something that they used for as like a placeholder name, because that's what most people were calling it. So people just called it that because most people were going to call it, rather than calling it the next Xbox or whatever, because that would have just been confusing. So yeah, I mean, actually, to do with the Xbox One, they unboxed it recently, and it's actually pretty well done. They've put a headset in there and a few other things, which is nice, I guess. I wouldn't buy one though, because they're still charging, what was it, $60? That's like 40 quid over here, £40 for a play and charge kit, which means you're paying like 100 quid for a controller which you can recharge, which blows my mind. It's okay. I went off on a bit of a tangent there. I should do these more. I kind of like just talking about random stuff. It's kind of hard just to keep going though, because you gotta stay focused, and I'm always doing weird things with my hands when I'm doing this, even though you can't see. But anyway, yeah, Nintendo's real success right now is, oh my god, I can't believe they're trying to sell that little red Wii Mini thing. Oh my god, tangents. I'm not good at this. Is for 3DS, which is amazing. And yeah, I think the only reason that you get a Vita over it is if you wanted to play like shooters or Uncharted or something on the Vita, or if you were, I don't know, if you really were into the PlayStation ecosystem and you wanted to play remote play on your PS3 and you wanted to do other stuff like that, then the Vita is alright. And they've released some information that the Vita will be able to play any PS4 game, directly streamed to it, which is quite clever. Which the 3DS doesn't really have at all. But the 3DS is just, it's so good. I I don't feel let down when I play a game on it because they design the games for portables. You know, when you play an Uncharted or Call of Duty on a Vita, it feels like you'd rather play it on an actual controller with an actual telly and everything. But when you're playing, you know, Super Mario 3D Land, you wouldn't rather have it on a TV. I'd rather just be like lying on my bed or something, you know, playing 3DS, which is brilliant. I just really like it, and there's so many good games. Like I think part of Nintendo's problem with the Wii U is that they are just trying to sell Mario Kart 8 and, you know, the Wind Waker HD and all of these, you know, rehashed games which they made ages ago, and they're just trying to sell them again. And Pikmin, which is good, but they still need a new franchise, otherwise people aren't going to be interested. You know, they need some new, I think it's IPs, is that what they're called? I don't know. They need their own things that they can sell. They need games that people are really interested in. And Nintendo needs to get rid of this whole image that they're, you know, the childhood console, because they're really not. The childhood console is, you know, nowadays it's the iPad and it's the iPhone. You know, kids are playing on, you know, FIFA on their iPod, and they're not really wanting consoles as much. So it's just complicated, you know. They need to figure out the demographic. They like, you know, games that work really well with the touchscreen and aren't a faff. You know, that's my main problem with games. If they're a faff, if the controls are fiddly, I won't like them. You know, first person shooters are often really fiddly, and I just don't like that. But, you know, I can sit there playing, you know, what's a game with good controls? I guess Ocarina of Time 3D has really good controls. But you see, my problem with that is linking back to what I was saying earlier. You know, they don't have their own new exciting, you know, franchises. They haven't really started anything since Pikmin, and that was like 10 years ago now. So they really need to, you know, get their act together, get some good stuff out there. And I don't know, Nintendo's always stunted themselves because they're always being ahead at some point. You know, the GameCube was like way more powerful than the PlayStation 2, but the discs were tiny and they couldn't hold anything, and it was stupid. You know, that 1.8 gig discs just didn't work. And even though I had so much fun on the GameCube, you know, Mario Kart Double Dash and Pikmin, and like I just said, you know, franchises have been around since the dawn of time. You know, it's weird. Nintendo has some problems, and they need to sort this stuff out, and they need to create, because the age of like third party exclusives is pretty much dead, because, you know, the newer consoles, the Xbox One and PS4, are so incredibly similar as far as specs go, and the Wii U is lagging so much behind that they need to make their own reason of you buying their console. They need to come up with some amazing new first party titles. Oh my god, I cringe looking at gameplay just there. This is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, by the way. Hot Pursuit. It's a very good game. It's a little bit old now. It's been outdated by a couple of Need for Speed games. But it was developed by Criterion, which means it's one of the better ones. So yeah, I'm a massive Criterion fanboy just because Burnout Paradise. Oh my god, tangents everywhere. So yeah, that's my point here. Nintendo really needs to get rid of that childish image, and they need to get some brand new, independent, from any other thing, games out there, and they need to get like a Super Smash Brothers with all these new characters that they've just like made out of nowhere, and they've got to make a reason for you to buy a Wii U rather than you just, you know, defaulting to go and buying an Xbox or, you know, a PS4. And, you know, that's my thought on it. If you've got this far on the video, please give it a like, because I've just sat here and talked for 10 minutes, and, you know, I'd appreciate it. And yeah, in a bit, guys. Bye.
Thanks for watching The OidhsNoise, and be sure to subscribe to keep up to date with his latest gaming content.
Become an Oidher today! Hit subscribe! Like this video!